Hello, everyone! Today I want to talk about a really beautiful story. It's called The Alchemist, written by Paulo Coelho. Now, this is a very famous book, and it's all about one simple but very powerful idea: following your dreams.
So, before we really dive into the story, I have a question for you. What is your biggest dream? You know, that one thing you've always wanted to do. Just take a second to think about it. Got it? Okay, hold on to that thought as we go through this story together. All right, so our story begins in the beautiful, sunny fields of Spain. And here, we meet our main character, a young shepherd named Santiago. He lives a simple life, but, well, that's all about to change in a really big way.
You see, Santiago is pretty happy with his life. He really loves his sheep, and he loves to travel with them from place to place. He enjoys the freedom, just moving through the countryside. It's a quiet, peaceful life, and for him, it's a good one.
But then something strange happens. One night, he has this really vivid dream. And then he has the same exact dream again. In this dream, he's at the Great Pyramids in Egypt, and he knows there's a hidden treasure waiting there for him. And this dream, well, it starts to stick with him. It plants a little seed of an idea in his mind, and he starts to wonder, is there more to life than this?
So, not long after having this dream, Santiago is in the town square, and he meets this mysterious old man. And this man tells him he's a king. The strangest part, this king, he knows all about Santiago's secret dream, and he has some advice for him, advice that's going to change his life completely.
The king looks at him and says something very, very important. He tells Santiago that he needs to follow his personal legend. Personal legend. What exactly does that mean, right? Well, a personal legend is basically your true dream in life. It's that thing that you've always wanted to accomplish. You know that dream I asked you about earlier? That's kind of like your personal legend. It's your unique purpose, the dream that truly belongs to you and nobody else.
So, after a lot of thinking, Santiago makes a really brave decision, a huge choice. He decides he's going to listen to that old king. He's going to follow his dream. And just like that, his incredible adventure begins.
Okay, so to do this, he has to completely change his life. First, he sells all of his sheep, the sheep he loves. He takes that money and travels all the way to Africa, a whole new continent. But almost as soon as he gets there, it all goes wrong. A thief steals every last bit of his money. And just like that, he's all alone in a strange land with absolutely nothing.
But Santiago doesn't give up, not at all. He finds a job with a kind man who owns a crystal shop. And for a whole year, he just works. He works hard every single day. And during that year, he learns so much, not just about selling crystal, but about people and about being patient. And little by little, he saves up his money all over again.
All right, so now he has his money back. He's ready to keep going. His next step, joining a caravan to cross the massive Sahara Desert. Now, this is a place that's incredibly beautiful, but also very, very dangerous.
And on this long journey through the desert, he meets some really important people. First, there's an Englishman who is always reading books, searching for a famous alchemist. Then, he meets Fatima, a woman of the desert, and he falls completely in love. And finally, he meets the alchemist himself, a very wise and powerful teacher who changes everything for him.
Now, the alchemist teaches Santiago a lot, but the biggest lesson, the most important one, is simple. Listen to your heart. He explains that your heart already knows what you need to do because it's connected to everything, to the whole world. He says if you just listen to it, it will always, always lead you toward your treasure. So after this incredibly long and difficult journey, full of challenges and amazing lessons, Santiago finally makes it. He arrives at his destination. The end of his long, long journey is finally in sight. And there they are, the Great Pyramids of Egypt, right in front of him. He actually made it. Can you imagine? His heart is just pounding with hope. He is so ready to find the treasure he dreamed about all that time ago. So he starts digging. He digs and digs all night, right where his heart tells him the treasure should be. But there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then, to make things even worse, some robbers show up. They beat him up and they steal the last of his money. And again, for the second time, Santiago has lost everything. But then, something incredible happens. As the robbers are leaving, one of them turns back and laughs at him. He tells Santiago, "You're not so smart.
I once had a stupid dream too. I dreamed about a treasure buried in an old, broken-down church in Spain. And in that single moment, everything clicks for Santiago. He realizes the robber is talking about the exact church where his whole journey started.
So the answer wasn't at the pyramids after all. It wasn't what he expected to find, not even close. But it was exactly the answer he needed.
He finally gets it. The treasure. It was never in Egypt. It was back home the entire time. It was waiting for him right where he started, in that old church where he first had the dream. Isn't that something? He had to travel all the way across the world just to find out that what he was looking for was right at home.
So what's the big lesson from all of this? I think the story is telling us that when we go searching for our dream, we're also really searching for ourselves. It's about having the courage to chase after that personal legend, to really listen to that voice inside, and to realize that the journey itself, is just as important as getting to the end.
And that, right there, is the true meaning of the book. I mean, sure, Santiago does go back and find a real chest of gold, but that's not the real treasure. The real treasure was everything he learned on his journey, all the experiences he had. He became a wiser person, a braver person. The journey itself, that was the real reward.
So this wonderful story really makes us think about our own lives, doesn't it? It makes us think about our own personal legend. So I'll ask you that question one more time. What is your dream? And what amazing treasures, what lessons and experiences will you find on your journey to make it happen?